lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos.
Welcome everyone, welcome to Phillies Weekly. We have a pretty packed show today. We are National League East champions. We had made the playoffs in our last show. John was a part of it, and now we get another gang, another group of masterminds here with both Roger and Tyler. Guys, I cannot thank you enough for being here with us today. Look, we're National League East champions for the 13th time in our history, and it's a long history. Roger, you've been in this history for a long time too. So, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing really well, and I got to be honest with you, Oscar. This feels better than it has felt in recent years. I mean, notwithstanding the last two games, this Phillies team has all sorts of characteristics that I personally find really appealing at this time of year. It's not like I think we're going to have an easy time of it. I don't think we are going to. But
this week,
I do think
was it this week or early or late last week that you were with Fransky?
It was this past week. I was there
this past week. So he's going to tell us all about his experience, and then he's going to bring, I mean, as Roger always brings, tremendous thinking as we go into the postseason. Look, this is going to be a show where we're going to talk about where we are, where we need to go, and how do we win this World Series. So, John, how you doing, man? You got all the answers, right?
I got all the answers. I got it all figured out, Oscar. So, all we need to do is just work it out tonight. We'll pass it on to the Phillies, and then, I'll see you at the parade.
Look at that. Tyler, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well, and I think the Phillies are going in a little bit hotter this year than last year, so already pretty encouraged about that.
That's a big point. I mean, that is a big point. Particularly our hitting, the way we've been hitting, it feels different. It feels different than the last few years, and it's more of a team approach than a few starts here and there. Even though I will never, ever in my life forget the first game of the wild card in St. Louis, when everything happened in that inning. I mean, everything. Bring on Helsley again. That was one of the craziest innings I've ever lived. I mean, look, it was not as crazy as what happened yesterday with the Eagles. I mean, the two blocks. I mean, a return block. It was insane. I mean, I don't know. It was the craziest call and the craziest game I've ever been in my life, to be honest with you.
I must have watched your call on that play 10, 20 times.
We went nuts. I mean, it's like some fans say, look, this is like us in our living room just jumping out of joy because, I mean, the impossible just happened. I mean, that's basically what happened yesterday.
And let's talk about Oscar broadcasting the Eagles and the Phillies.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on. I mean, Roger, I learned from Roger, man. Roger does everything. I mean, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. So I learned from him. So it was fun. Look, it was fun. Look, I went into such a high in the Eagles. I mean, with Ricky and the team. I mean, Dave Gerhardt and the entire team. I mean, we were in such a high that you go in. And I walked in the third inning of the Phillies game, and we're down 6-0. I said, hey, we did it there. We can do it here. Let's go out and do it. I mean, hey, guys.
I thought the Phillies were going to come back. It just felt like a magical day. You thought all these good things were going to happen.
It was a magical day. Ranger did not have his best day, and it happens.
Yeah. Well, and we had plenty of base runners. We just didn't string three hits together in a row enough times to make a difference.
Was it 14-1 with runners in scoring position? I mean, I read a number like that. That was crazy. I mean,
Well, I
if
think
it
we
wasn't
had
yesterday,
11
it was the day before. But it's like
we had
14,
11 hits, I think, and a whole bunch of walks and
1 for
runs.
14. I mean, it was look. It was not a pretty game, but look, I do believe that they were in such a high after the first two games against the Dodgers were incredible. I mean, they felt like we were like in the middle of the National League Championship Series, and we won those two games. I mean, it was incredible. We won the National League East. I mean, the celebration, and then the next day, which I thought, unlike in the past, right? You remember that game in Houston? I mean, that we got bombarded. Ranger actually pitched that game. I mean, we got hammered that second game after Nola.
That's a great
I
point.
thought
Yeah,
we were going to
2022.
get
Yeah,
killed.
Nola pitched the damn near perfect game. They clinched.
Rafael Marchand, of all
Was
people
excited.
in the world, man.
And Ranger the next day, brutal game. So there's some precedent here. Hopefully, it's like that again, because it is scary to watch your probable number 2 starter in a postseason series sort of get blown up like that. Now, I don't think that's going to happen to Ranger in the postseason. But
Ranger
it's
is too
a matter
good,
of
man.
how
Yeah, I'm going to show
how
you his
quickly things can
stats.
change and
I'm
how
going to show
how
you his
bad they
stats in
can
the
go.
postseason. They're amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
what Ranger, I mean, I'm going to show you his stats in the postseason, and you would say, like, whoa, look at this. I mean, he's our number 2 starter. I mean, I would have probably thought about putting him as the number 1 starter. How good that guy is under pressure. I mean, but look, I think it makes all the sense that he's the second starter, but we'll talk. We'll have more opportunity. We're going to talk about.
Can I just add something to what John just said, though? Because that game with Ranger, we want to keep in mind that we have Trey on the IL and we have Sosa on the IL. So we are really trying to tape together infield defense. And man, did it let Ranger down in the first 2 innings of that game. I mean, to my mind, the critical thing is to get Trey and Sosa back, because we want to play with moderately competent defense all the time and very good defense as often as we can get it. And that is not what we fielded.
And it's not like these
days.
guys are defensive specialists. You're talking about Trey Turner, the National League batting average leader, right? So this is
no, that fair point. But I'm just saying he's also been an above average shortstop.
he sure has.
I really I mean, last time I was on with Oscar, I made the point that I really thought that they were going to have to experiment with Stott at short. And of course, Sosa gets hurt the next day, and so they have to begin that experiment. And he's done really, really, really well. But it's super clear that the other guys have not played enough second base to be competent there.
I mean,
and, Bohm was a mixed bag the first couple of games back. I mean, incredible at the plate, but a mixed bag at third. And the result was Rangers looking at some situations that he shouldn't have had to be in.
Well, the good news
we went 1 for 14
like
yesterday. We left 13 on base. I mean, it was not pretty. It was not pretty.
But especially if you're booting the ball around the infield.
So, guys,
Tyler, you're always up on the injury news. What's the latest on Turner coming back and Sosa as well? It's pretty optimistic, right?
Yeah, I believe Sosa's coming back tomorrow, which is good. And it sounds like they're trying to get Turner back by Friday for the Twins.
Pitching live pitching over the next couple days.
Yeah, with the 3 minor leaguers, I believe they're bringing for him to hit against them. I think the biggest question for me, and we'll talk. I mean, the 2 things that we need to leave today is with a dialogue on what should be our ideal rotation. I mean, we know Christopher Sanchez is going to go 1. Who should go 2 and 3, and who could potentially be 4? And then the second question is going to be, what's the ideal lineup? Because we know how Turner last year came very tentative after the injury. That, to me, is a big question mark. And the reality is that Harrison Bader have been playing at such an elite level that it will be very, very interesting what decision the team decides to do. I think this week is more of a transition week into getting them ready. More than anything else, we're going to win a game or the Dodgers are going to lose a game, so we're going to have the bye. I mean, look, if we don't get the bye, it's going to be I mean, it's like losing, what was it?
That's
The
a
Mets?
team in free fall.
I mean, it's worse than the Mets. I mean, the free fall of the Mets. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I think it's preparation and how we're going to get them ready for the postseason. It's what kind of we're going to be doing today. So let me start kind of with the slides. Look, the most beautiful slide of all, the reality of kind of where we are today, with regards to our kind of the table. Look at this thing. I mean, we're 12 games ahead of the Mets. I mean, 16 games ahead of the Marlins. Now, look at the Marlins. 9-1.
Yeah.
Over the last 10 games. Look at the Braves. 8-2. I mean, hello guys, a little bit too late.
And the Marlins still are not eliminated yet. I mean, there is actually a situation that they could win a wild card spot, which would be ridiculous.
That would be fantastic.
Well, but in order to do it, though, they have to sweep us. So
yes,
let's not
get carried away. Come on,
let's not get carried away. Okay,
it's possible, not likely, but
but I think it's actually really in this particular group important that they not do so.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they're not going to do it. I mean, we'll talk about the pitching matchups toward the last slides. But look, this is beautiful. 12 games ahead of the Mets. I mean, who could have imagined this? I mean, when we're about to finish the year, I mean, it's like the Braves did it a few years back where they basically blew everybody out. And I don't know if they even had a 12-game lead at the time.
It's incredible. All you heard in before the season, and I believe it, I was saying it too, is that it was just going to be an absolute dogfight between the Phillies, Mets, Braves, and it was going to go down on the wire. And not the case at all. The Phillies are in great shape. Also, I mean, how great is it to be for everyone to just be sort of so relaxed and ho-hum about winning the division, which for the longest time, we saw it in 1993, then we had to wait 14 years to see it again. And then now it's just, okay, that's one step in the process here, and this team has bigger goals, and that's
here is celebration time. 13 years. I wanted to put this chart to see history, right? I like to keep things in perspective. Yeah. We have the Braves have 154 years, but they've been 59 years in Atlanta. They were the Milwaukee Brewers, the Boston Braves. On the left-hand side of the Braves there in the middle, they've won the division 24 times, 18 being the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta. They won as Atlanta. They won the National League 6 times, and they've won 2 World Series. So that's their record. In terms of the Phils, we've been 142 years in Philly, 17 playoffs, 13 as division champs. 8 times we've been National League champions, and we won twice. And I think the most efficient teams are on the right-hand side. Let's not talk about the Mets, right? I mean, they're 3 out of 3 in winning the World Series. So good for them in terms of efficiency, but they have done it very, very few times. And the Mets they won the National League 5 times, and they won 2 World Series. So it's interesting. I just like to keep this in perspective. Roger, you had a thought there?
Well, just that when I look at all of this stuff, to me, the fans in the ballpark are the variable that in the postseason we want to just always keep in mind. Our record at home, if we have home field advantage, gives us just a tremendous advantage. And we did take 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. It doesn't look like we're going to catch them. And so, they can go into Milwaukee with a sense that they can play there too. And I don't think Milwaukee can sweep us in Philadelphia the way they did earlier in the year. They caught us when they were at their hottest and we were at our coldest. But I look at that's the factor in this whole thing that I am most excited about, that our team really responds to being at home.
Yeah,
right.
The players, there's no doubt about that. That is a great point. And
watching Bader play center field the first day and taking balls off of the angle, and I mean, his throws at home have not been that great. He's made a couple of really tremendous airmails, but his ability to field that position in what is demonstrably a quirky center field is, to me,
he's amazing. He's amazing without the practice he's had to be able to master it that way so fast is incredible.
He plays like he's been playing for the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park for years.
He absolutely does. He knows the angles off the wall, everything, and he's straight out 1993, right? Like it's it's almost like you plop Lenny Dykstra on this 2025 team, and he's been just playing out of his mind. So hopefully he can keep it up.
So let's talk craziness, guys. I know it's a full chart. There is a lot of things in here. Look, so we have three teams that are basically a lock to be in the playoff: Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and the Dodgers. And then you have Chicago and the Padres that are also going to make it. But so there is a 3-game lead by the Brewers. I do not think we should even worry about catching up Milwaukee. There is no way. I don't believe we're going to be able to catch them. I mean, they're playing
3 games and the tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, they're playing at San Diego, and then they play in Cincinnati. So I just don't see us being able to. It's actually 4 games, right? It's a 4-game lead that they have,
right?
Because with 6 games to go, I mean, it's not even. Look, we can try, but it's not realistic. Let's put it that way. The same thing with the Dodgers, right? It's a 4-game lead, but it's a 5-game lead. I mean, or a 3-game lead, and it's a 5-game lead. So it's going to be very hard for the Dodgers to be able to catch us. So I think what we need to do is start getting ourselves ready for the postseason. That is, to me, the biggest priority right now. And how we do that, and we'll talk more about pitching. I mean, with some of your thoughts, Roger, that you had there, talking with Fransky and the rest of the guys around that. So, but what's going on in the bottom of the National League East with Cincinnati surpassing the Mets now because they have a series. Pittsburgh goes to play in Cincinnati, and they finish the season in Milwaukee. So I think Milwaukee is going to be like the Phils. I mean, whatever you do, we won't care much. And then the Mets need to go to Chicago, and they need to go to Miami. And we know how Miami is is the perfect sleeper team that just want to kill whoever's in front of them. I'll be the spoiler.
Trouble. I don't think they're going to make it. I really don't. I don't think the Mets are going to make it in, and it's wild, and that's a shame.
And then Arizona needs to win, which is beautiful for us because they're going to play as hard as they can, the Dodgers, to try to be able to get into the playoffs. So it is a perfect scenario for the Phils there in that respect. And then they go to San Diego to finish the season. So they have a very, very tough schedule. I think Cincinnati have their probably one fit inside the playoffs as the last team that will go to the playoffs there. You agree with that, Roger?
I got to be totally honest with you. I think that they're lucky they're playing Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, okay? Because I think Pittsburgh there's, is a really, really hard set of games right now. I mean, Pittsburgh leads the league in shutouts, right? And I forget what the percentages that they have at home, but it's huge.
I think Steens pitches tomorrow, by the way.
And then they got to go to Milwaukee, which is, Milwaukee's playing for nothing, but at Milwaukee's almost as good at home as we are. So, I think Cincinnati's schedule isn't as easy as it looks. Arizona gets to play LA at home, which is a huge advantage for them. Makes the Dodger hitters less effective. But I got to be honest with you, the Dodger pitching staff, particularly the starters, they've really woken up. And you saw that in the series against us. We scored, one run off of I count Sheehan as a starter. I think we scored one.
He pitched really well,
one run off the 3 of them. I think we managed a total of 7 hits off in 3 games.
I mean, the only thing that I remember is Luzardo got the first hit of that second game. I mean, he lit it off. I mean, he let off that inning with a base hit.
But that's why
you know what I'm saying. The Dodger pitching has suddenly gelled, and their
bullpen is a complete mess and a disaster.
But they will have to move some of those starters into the bullpen.
Right.
So I think that there is a path for them to get some of that figured out at least.
Totally agree with that. Because maybe I'll share, Oscar, right here what the point I made in LA. So I went to LA for the first 2 games, and I spent some time.
The most important games. That's what we won.
Yeah, I did one game. I did the Monday game on radio with Scott for the 3rd inning, and I did color, and the point I was trying to make was if you look at the statistics for bullpens in the National League, actually in the major leagues, the Dodgers are basically 1 inning less bullpen usage than the Chicago White Sox. 630 is what the White Sox have. 629 is what the Dodgers have. The Phillies have their bullpen 490 innings.
We're the least.
Yeah, we're the least. But that difference of 140 innings, right, which is basically 25% of the Phillies number, right?
Sure.
That is huge. And what's really interesting is that it's not just the Dodgers bullpen, which if you look at them in prior years, they are pound for pound, all A-plus people. But they've been overused badly. And what was really funny is I went to the game on Monday night with a really serious Dodger fan. And when they took Ohtani out of the game, Tuesday night, they took Ohtani out of the game. He looked at me and goes, well, we're going to lose this game. And I predict the game in the next half inning. And it really was right. But, you look at those starters, and as Tyler just said, they've got 6 real starters, and they're not even thinking about Sasaki as a starter. They're thinking about Sasaki as a bullpen arm. And
Sasaki got rocked in the minor leagues too. I mean, so he's
not in his last outing. Not in his last outing, dude. He was like throwing 98 and 1, 2, 3, and I think 2 strikeouts.
I don't trust their bullpen, even if they move Glass now there or they.
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't either. I just make the point. Our pitchers are going to have to be great.
Yeah. I know. I mean, there's. No
doubt. Even if the bullpen is suspect, there's still the terrifying notion of going into the 7th and you're down 4-2, 6-3. Yes, maybe you'll come back against them, but.
Well, the Dodgers. The math on the Dodgers is simple. If you keep them to 5 runs or less, they lose 2/3 of the games where they score 5 runs or less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if they score more than 5 runs, they win like 80%, right? And so you have to keep them 5 or less.
I mean, we won 6-5 and 9-6. Talking
Right.
about your point. I mean, it's those are the 2 games that we won. So,
and so my observation when you're dealing with the Dodgers is you got to score a ton.
Yeah.
And you can't let them score more than 4. And I think we're totally capable of that. Right?
Oh, we got to start the series at home, which is the key.
Mm-hmm. And you got to win both of those games.
Yeah. You have to win both of those games because if not, you're going to be playing catch up there, which is not an easy task.
The last 2 seasons, we actually played well in LA. I mean, I one of the points I made to Scott was the last time that I saw David Robertson face Muncy with the bases loaded in the bottom of the last half inning of the game in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Muncy hit a grand slam to walk the game off. And this time, all of this is like etched in my soul.
That's the thing.
He got him out.
I think about when we take a look at some of these potential postseason opponents, it's hard to shake the history, right? You think Dodgers and you think of some Phillies success, some incredible success that they've had against the Dodgers. You think about the Diamondbacks, you think about the Mets, and it's scary. It's just you're not looking at the
baseball. I mean, it's baseball.
You're looking at the ghosts.
Look, the reality is without Wheeler, it's going to be tougher. We know that, but it is what it is. Is the cards that you've been dealt, and you got to play. You got to play around those cards. So that's the reality.
John, I think I've seen enough signs at the end of this season about getting past the ghosts. I mean, honestly, David Robertson had to be thinking about that 23 game where Muncy hit the grand slam. He still got him out.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a couple paths, right? There's go through these guys, exercise the demons, and make it glorious. Or there's, let's stay away from that and just hope for the Reds.
Look, we'll come back. Let's come back and talk about that I have a slide toward the end that talks about all the who scares us the most and all of those dynamics. We can talk more around that. The American League is a complete mess. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, Detroit, that was like the Phils, right? 12-game lead, nothing to worry about. They are 1-9 over the last 10 games. And the Cleveland Guardians, that of all people in the world, decided that they can play baseball. I mean, I would love to have Ramirez as our third baseman, by the way. I mean, that guy is a superstar. But just take that aside for a second. Look, I mean, Cleveland is one game out in Detroit, and they played 3 games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Scooble against Williams tomorrow. I mean, to start the series, it's going to be fascinating. Fascinating. Detroit or Cleveland, one of the two. The Yankees and the Red Sox, they look solid. I mean, in terms of where they are, even though the Red Sox are a game away. But to me, the Houston Astros are in trouble. They are in deep trouble. They are 5-5 or less, 10 games, but they just don't look the part. They lost 3 straight games against Seattle. Seattle basically took the division from them, and they look lost. Framber Valdez he's been pitching awful the last few weeks. And I can tell you that for a fact. I play only one fantasy that I played for 25 years. I have Framber Valdez as one of my pitchers, and I wanted to. I'm not happy. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, that's another team I wouldn't mind seeing on the outside of the postseason.
Oh, for sure. I know nothing I'd rather see than to have my former Oakland Athletics sweep them in Sacramento. I mean, it would be just a beautiful thing. I don't think the Angels. I think Angels are going to be a walkover for them, but I'm really hopeful that the super young and extremely talented Oakland Athletics will
soon to be Philadelphia Athletics.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you a question. Out of the 3 teams, who do you think will be in the National League? Let's see who's correct about this.
I think it's going to be, even though they're sitting a game back, I think Arizona right now, they look the best to me.
How about you, Roger?
I'm gonna say something that I don't believe, but I think it's the way it ought to turn out. Is I think the Mets are going to sweep Chicago in Chicago and put themselves back in this thing. And then they're going to have to beat Miami in Miami, which is no easy thing to do. And so, I don't know that it's going to be the Mets, but I think I think that the Cubs are literally mailing it in right now because they've got their slot. Nothing changes. And they're just trying to get everybody healthy. And I think the Mets have a chance to sweep them.
Tyler.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Reds. Why not? I like their starting pitching. I know that they're obviously facing a good pitching team in Pittsburgh. And Milwaukee still wants to be competitive going in, especially when they get the bye. But I like that they're a game up on the Mets technically with the tiebreaker. And I don't know. I just feel really good about the Reds picking it up here. They've got.
I think the Mets are out. I do believe the Mets are out, and I agree with you. I think it's the Reds. How about the National League, guys?
And so the one thing for the Mets is that's the team I think the Dodgers would least like to face in the opening round. So that's
the Diamondbacks, you think?
The Mets to win.
Which team? The Diamondbacks?
No, I think the Mets, from the Dodgers' point of view, the Mets are the scariest of those 3 teams.
They don't have pitching. I mean, their pitching
No,
is.
I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying they have a lot of slug in that offense.
Yeah, they have a slug, but they can't pitch. I mean,
I'm just saying, if they make the playoffs, it'll be because their hitters are all on a huge roll.
That's fair. That's a fair point. How about who wins the American League Central, Detroit or Cleveland?
I think it's got to be Cleveland right now. I mean, there's absolutely no momentum with Detroit. And, Cleveland, it doesn't matter the players on the roster. They seem to always just get it together and get wins. So I think it's Cleveland.
And then Houston, and then who stays? Houston or the Tigers?
Houston. I mean, you can't sleep on the Astros. They always figure it out. I really think the lack of momentum with the Tigers is going to cost them, unfortunately.
Well, and they have to play at Cleveland and at Boston, which is a really gnarly way to finish the year.
Yeah.
That is absolutely I do think Teller's dead on. They always figure it out, and they get in, and they're going to be a problem. But I hope they don't.
Okay, guys, let's go into kind of our stats here. So here's kind of where the Phils are: 92 and 64 overall. We've lost the last 2 games, 6-4. This looked prettier a couple of days ago when we were like 8-2 and 15-5 and 20-10. I do it before every game. I put the stats after the first game in Arizona, it was absolutely a masterpiece. And now we ended up the year in the road 41-40. So we're a 500 team basically on the road. 29-20. We still have 3 more games left. with the Marlins to finalize the year on the National League East, and we've done a really, really good job against teams above 500, 45 and 34. And then the most important thing, and Tyler, you brought this up, we look much, much better than we did before in previous years. So in August and September, we've been playing much better baseball than we were last year, and that momentum should carry us. The dynamic by left-handed pitching continues to be there. We brought it down to 1. Now it's a difference of 3 there. We've swept 8 series. We've been swept 5 times. One of them by the Milwaukee Brewers, by the way, and one of them by the Pittsburgh Pirates, out of all people in the world. I mean, who can understand this world? 33-15 on series, and then we're 5th in baseball in run differential. So that's kind of where a stat for the years are after 57 games, 6 games to go. This was this week, which I wanted to bring up. So we went 3-3 last week. We went 6-1 with a six runs per game, more than 6.5 runs per game, and here allowing 4 runs per game. But this week, sorry, my bad, press the wrong button there. This week, I'm not liking. Look after the All-Star. Week 17 to 26 is after the All-Star. Look where our pitching is. 6.3, 1.1, 4.8, 2.5, which was fantastic, 5.1, 4, 5.83, 4.4, and 5.16. I mean, the pitching has not been as good after the All-Star game as it was prior to the All-Star game in terms of runs allowed. Look at how we ended up, 2.83, 3.2. I mean, to our week 11 through 16th. So our pitching has been deteriorating. We've been hitting much better. I mean, you see it there during.
It's absolutely a concern, Oscar. But you know what I do love about this Phillies team this year is that they can beat you in a lot of different ways, right? You see those early weeks where they were beating teams with pitching, and you see the later weeks where the pitching is faltered, but they're still winning games, and they're doing it now with the offense. So, and the biggest thing for me is that they're getting hot at the right time. I think you showed 13-6 in September. That feels very different than last year, and it feels more similar to the years where they actually made deep postseason runs or won championships.
My friend Carlos Baerga is watching us here, so just so behave, guys.
Absolutely.
He tell us to behave. He tell us to behave. So
I had Carlos his rookie year with Cleveland. I had him for $1 in my rotisserie baseball league. I was in one of the oldest rotisserie leagues of all time. And
hey,
Carlos,
come on.
Hang, bear with me for a sec. I mean, because he was unknown, and of course he had that monster rookie year, and followed up with way bigger years after that. He literally made my team. Carlos Baerga is always welcome in my household.
He could hit. Yeah. I mean, he could. There's one thing Carlos Baerga could hit. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
No, I became his PR department after that. I was.
Hey, bottom line on games, we won game 1 and 2. Game 1 is when we won with Duran and the save by Robertson to win the National League East. Then we won 9-6, an incredible game. That game was incredible. I mean, what Rafael Marchand did there, I mean, to hit that home run, I mean, he hit that's like hitting the jackpot in Vegas or something. I mean, it's like, I couldn't even believe it.
So can I tell you a little funny story about being in LA on the ground? So they let me go down onto the field for batting practice, both games. In the first game, Weston Wilson comes up, and he's just working the line. He gets to me, and I don't have anything to sign, so he just wants to say hello. And I said, Weston, your hard ball contact rate has been fantastic. I think you are, between here and the end of the season, you are going to win a game with a really clutch hit. And then
the guy say, who is this?
Otto Kemp comes by. Otto Kemp comes by, and I'd said to him, dude, you're making contact all the time. I think you're going to get a really clutch hit tonight. Anyway, so that night, of course, Wilson hits the key home run that puts us ahead, right? And Kemp gets a double that figures in a later rally. So the next day, I go back down there, and Weston Wilson literally comes charging out of the dugout and over to where I am, and goes, "You're the guy who said I was going to hit a home run last night. What am I going to do tonight?" And I go, "Dude, you're going to get another big hit." And of course, he got a double. And then Marsh comes up, and I'm wearing a Marsh jersey, and so Marsh comes up, and he goes,
What am I going to do?
and he's hitting cleanup for only the second time this year. I said, "Look, dude, the first time you hit cleanup, you got the key run. You drove in the key runs. It was really big. I think you're going to hit a big fly tonight." So he hits the 3-run homer.
You're coming to Philly.
Yes, you gotta pump these guys up before every postseason game. Please just go out there. Tell them.
The problem, I was not at Wednesday's
game.
I was not at Wednesday's game, so I really felt like I had somehow let the team down. By
You did. You definitely did. You definitely did.
Yeah, we're out there before game 3, and they were looking around. Where's Roger?
Yeah, well, this is look, I am nothing but a fan. You guys are professionals. I'm a fan, but one of the great things about being a fan is I have to be representing all the other fans, right? Because not everybody.
Trust me, we're all fans.
This long. And so
right,
I'm
Tyler,
just
we're all fans. Tyler says, no doubt about it. He's the biggest fans. I mean, PhilsTailgate done a great job, dude. So let's talk about how good have Duran and Bader been. I mean, I try to update this every week because I pinch myself about how are these guys producing. I mean, incredible. Look at that. I mean, 15 saves, a 193 ERA. I mean, it'll be – and Roger, I love your thoughts on this for a second. And then, Tyler, we'll talk, if you don't mind talking about Bader. But, Roger, Duran, when he's on the road versus when he's at home, is there a big difference there that you're seeing? I mean, that in terms of his pitching, I mean, he was up in New York and kind of was not 100%. He gave it like 4 hits in a row. One of them were a couple bloopers there, and then you go in, but the guy has been lights out. I mean, with 15 saves.
Well, so the thing that I noticed in LA was that he shook off JT with an 0-2 count, and then gave up a just laser into the Dodger bullpen, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that may be an unreproducible event because my guess is he will not be shaking off JT again for some period of time. I mean, on top of that, he threw that curveball like literally, it was a meatball. And I mean, I don't pretend I could hit a major league pitch, but if I were playing, in MLB The Show, I'm pretty sure I would have tatered that thing. And the thing that I've noticed with Duran is that, to me, he is a stopper. So the home away thing, I mean, Oscar, you're right. Both of his he has 2 blown saves, I think. One in New York where he lost the game, and then one in.
I think one was tie game or something.
Oh, okay, got it. So he has just the one in LA. So in that particular game, I actually don't think that was a park effect. I think that was him having an 0-2 count and thinking, I'm just going to end this right here by blowing this guy away and then throwing a terrible pitch.
It was shocking because he was just rolling, right? He just
completely rolling. And he has the dude 0-2. And Pages had been he's been on fuego for a month, right? Maybe 2 months. And, so it's not like Pages snuck up on him. I think he shook off JT and then threw the pitch in a terrible place. And I don't think that was a ballpark thing. I think that was just a Duran being cocky and blowing it.
Tyler, Bader.
I'm glad he got it over with now, is all I'm saying.
Okay. That's fair.
Trust JT going forward.
What are your thoughts on Bader and what he represents for this team?
Yeah, the first thing with Bader is I don't understand how he's doing this, but we just got to keep him hot. He is just hitting everything that's being thrown to him. He had a 3-hit game against the Diamondbacks. I know he didn't hit as much during the Dodger series, but just keeping him hot because this isn't what he is historically in his career. There has not been a stretch in his career that's been like this. So
to me, he elevates his game in the right moment, and he loves it here. By the way, he loves during Philly. I mean, the whole thing with the fans and the kind of the wardrobe and the Mr. Cool.
This is the environment for him, and when he gets consistent playing time, he does perform. The only other stretch that I've seen that he's had like this was actually when he was with the Yankees in the playoffs against the Guardians. I believe he had 4 home runs in, I believe it was the ALDS in 22 or 23. I mean, the guy was on fire then. He was playing every single day. And I think he's built for the big moments, which in the past he's been playing for teams that haven't been playoff teams or he wasn't starting every day. So I think just hopefully if he remains hot, and I think that also affects where he's sitting in the lineup when Trey Turner comes back.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And, when you talk about Bader, and that's exactly the type of guy you want, somebody who shows up in the big moments, somebody who rises to the moments. We've seen so many players come to Philadelphia and just not be able to handle the pressure that, in working away in obscurity, they put up great numbers and then they come to Philly and they don't perform. This guy's been exactly the opposite. And I think that's why he's so beloved. Like you just see him show up, and he's playing the best ball of his life. Tyler makes.
Do we know what he wear? I mean, what the things that he wear? We don't. Do we know why somebody have asked him why he wears them or no?
What, the pink and purple?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that the company that he's representing that makes those, that's their colors.
Okay.
And
he looks like the Incredible. I mean, to me, he's watched The Incredibles too many times. He looks like the little kid that runs.
So I'm a huge fan of that color scheme. Okay, so
yeah, no. I don't have anything with the color scheme. It's
more. He's the energy guy.
The lightning, and all the things. I mean, he looks like to me, he looks like a hero, like a movie hero. That he's going to take care of everyone.
He's a hero. He's our hero, Oscar.
He's like Captain America. I mean, he's going to save the world. So,
to me, I look at Bader, and Bader, basically, he and Marsh have more or less carried lead-off positions, right? So, I mean, weirdly, Marsh has played like a leadoff hitter for the last 2 months. He keeps leading off innings and being the first guy to get on base and starting a rally, right? So his run count is way higher than you would think, and his RBI count is lower than you think because there's almost always he's either leading off or the first guy to get on base. And so we've suddenly gone from having, last year where it felt like we didn't have a natural leadoff hitter to now we have 3 guys who are playing like really good leadoff hitters, and that really, really helps. And if getting this cyst drained causes Alec Bohm, it causes the last 2 days to be like the Alec Bohm we're going to get from here, then it kind of doesn't matter where Bader bats in the batting order because there's going to be a shit ton of pop, pardon my French, behind him, wherever he is. And, I mean, you could see the argument for batting him behind Marsh because he has real RBI capability in him, right?
It's been incredible. I mean, he wasn't brought here to be the man in this lineup. You got Bryce Harper in this lineup. You got Kyle Schwarber, and he's been outperforming everybody. So
I think leadership,
hopefully keeps
experience.
Going.
I think he was brought here to bring experience, leadership. He's been there at the moment and kind of be another sounding board. But the guy,
Oscar, I'm going to push back. I'm with John on this. I think he was brought in to play center field and not drop the ball, and he's done that. I mean, the way he's played the angle has just been incredible from the very first appearance he was in a game, and I think all the hitting has been gravy, and hitting like this is obviously what a gift.
Look, this guy has, I believe, 5 home runs in the postseason. So his experience to me is a critical factor here. And our production, look, when they bring him, our production in the outfield was on the floor. I mean, March started to turn it on at the time that he came in, and between him and look, the stats say it all. I'm going to show the stats pre and post, and it's like night and day where March was and where Castellanos is today and all that. Well, we'll talk about Castellanos in a minute. That's going to be an interesting topic of conversation here.
Real quick, I think What a Gift has to be the leader in the clubhouse for the Phillies video yearbook, right? They win it all. What a gift. The 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. I can see it now. It's all falling into place.
Yeah, incredible. So here's where pitching is. And something that caught my attention is that our pitching, again, there's a lot of parity in baseball, and that's something we need to keep in mind. But our pitching last week, we're number 2 in terms of total wins in all of baseball. But when you look at our ERA, I'm talking about the overall, our ERA have gone from being 6 at 3.78 to going up to 3.88 and being 12 in baseball. So from being kind of in the top tier to being more kind of in the middle tier, which is it raised. And I had to check it 2 or 3 times to make sure. And the biggest mover, our bullpen moved from 21 to 22, but the biggest mover, the 433, didn't change that much. But our biggest mover was our starting pitching that went from 3.5 to 364 this week. And this is last week versus this week. So it's not like we're looking at a – so I just try to show the changes there. The same thing in home runs. We were 8th last week. We're 11th now in home runs. And it's something – this did not change materially in terms of being 6th and 15, but it's something that caught my attention. And to me, the 388 is alarming that – we can move. I mean, our starting pitching has not been a hot, and I just show you some of the numbers on the previous slide that we have not been pitching as well as we were pitching in the beginning of the year. Again, we don't have Wheeler, which makes all the sense in the world. But look, it's something to keep our eyes on, and we're gonna have to make some decisions around our pitching. I mean, the rest is pretty consistent with what we've talked over the last year. I mean, over the last year, we're second in least amount of base on balls. We're third in total strikeout. We were second last week. The Dodgers passed us. Houston is number 1. Dodgers number 2. We're number 3. But our starting pitching have remained pretty consistent in terms of the categories. But our ERA went from 3.5 to 3.64 in 1 week. So we lost 3 games, and I think we won 1. We were like 51 and 40, and now we're 60 and 43. So, again, something to keep our eyes on.
And remember, Oscar, for both the walks and the strikeouts, our starting pitchers have by far the most innings, and our relief pitchers have by far the fewest. So the relief pitcher walks is at least partially reflecting.
Yeah, and the strikeouts as well. You got 28. You're 28th in a strikeout, right. So that's a reflection on the number of innings, which is significantly lower. But again, I didn't like this. Going from 6 to 12, 378 to 388. So it's something to keep our eyes on. And
I was going to say, Roger brings a good point with the starting pitching. I mean, we've used them so much that even now that we've clinched, I don't understand why we're still pushing guys. Like we had Luzardo pitching into the 8th inning.
That's true.
And I still want them to be competitive. I still want them to play so they can remain in that rhythm. But I don't see at this point why we even have to push these guys that far right now.
Nobody should go more than 5.
Absolutely. Don't
from now on, I think that's going to be the case.
Don't take your foot off the gas, but protect your starting pitching, especially because you've lost Zach Wheeler, and I think that's part of what we're seeing.
And a guy like Luzardo has already hit his career highs in innings, and you need him in the rotation. It's not like you can just throw him in the bullpen right now in the playoffs. We need him.
He's your number 3. You need him.
Absolutely, Tyler. I agree 100% with you. I agree 100% with you. Now, let me pull this slide in full, and then I'll bring us back on. But because I do believe that this slide is very telling. This is the pre and post of our pitching. Okay, this was our pitching prior to the All-Star game. So you see Ranger Suarez at 215. You see a guy like Wheeler at 236. Christopher Sanchez at 250. At 2.5, you see Orion Kerr at 278. That's an interesting a name to keep in mind. Matt Strom at 329. Tanner Banks at 329. At 329 as well. You see a guy like Taijuan Walker at 355. Luzardo at 414, and that has to do with a lot of those starts that were not very nice, that were pretty. And then Nola started 1-7 with a 6.16 ERA. And then let's not talk too much about our friend Jordan Romano. If we go post, here's where we are on post. So Walker Buehler is at 104. Duran has been unbelievable at 194. Matt Strom at 196. Tanner Banks at 288. Tanner Banks has been godsend. To me, he's the most valuable, or the return of the year, or whatever you want to call it. He's been incredible. Christopher Sanchez have remained very, very consistent at 291. Orion Kerr, you saw it at 280 something, now at 409. Robertson is at 420. Ranger Suarez at 428. You see Max Lazard at 6'11", Mice at 678, and Nola at 687, 3-3 after the All-Star game. I don't know. You would love your thoughts before we go talk about what should we do around starting rotation and relief pitching for the postseason.
It's scary, right? In terms of who are your right-handers that can help build that bridge to Duran, right? Kerr is supposed to be a key piece here, and recently it's been scary. Robertson, you feel pretty good about. You feel good, like you said, Oscar Banks. He's been incredible. Strom's been great. But if you need right-handers in the 6th, 7th, 8th,
it should be Kerr. It should be Kerr.
It should be. That would be ideal.
I think the biggest problem with Kerr right now is he just lacks the confidence. And I know that they've been using him in a lot lower situations, but I wonder if they did put him in a couple more high leverage situations the last couple of days of the season, that maybe he can regain that confidence, because I still see where he's throwing some pretty good pitches, but they're either missing the zone or it looks like he's missing like an out pitch. I mean, we've seen this guy have a ton of success in the past, and I think they have to just try different things and hopefully something sticks before the playoffs, because right now, the way he's pitching, I know he's supposed to be a high leverage guy, but he's just not pitching like that right now.
Yeah, he's not feeling it, and too many bases on balls, and you see a number of home runs here. He's allowed 4 home runs in 22 innings.
But I also think that that's where someone like Buehler comes in, because he's been good so far, but he's kind of a wild card. But, if he's not going to be in the rotation, maybe he can pick up some of those meaningful innings, but it's, again, something we don't know. It's going to have to be, just have to figure it out.
It feels like, and let me know what you guys think, it feels like you're setting Buehler up to be that piggyback guy, that you put Nola in the start, say Nola's your 4th starter. He goes through the lineup a couple times. He's been getting crushed, absolutely crushed, his 3rd time through the lineup, right?
Yeah.
So I could absolutely see them saying Nola for 5 innings, Buehler now bringing a guy, somebody who was closed out a World Series, which should not be taken for granted.
I think the question is what we should do versus what the Phillies are going to do, because we know there is the component of the multi-year deals and the dynamics, the loyalty, and a number of different things versus the guy that just walked on the door a week ago and giving him a bigger responsibility. I do agree that Walker Buehler is probably going to be piggybacking. And that's kind of, let's jump into this right away, because I think this stats, I'm a big believer on experience. Sorry, my bad. Here are the numbers for the year. So you see the WARs and kind of where each pitcher is. So you see both Walker Buehler and Nola kind of at a similar place. If you look at WAR, right? Christopher should be our number 1 starter, Ranger number 2, and Luzardo number 3. That's why you see there the 7.1, 4.8, and 3.6 probably makes sense. You see kind of the ERAs. Ranger overall, his ERA is at 3.12, which is great. 2.66, 3.12, and Luzardo's has 4.8. Sorry, I'm going to cough again. But look at their experience in the postseason. I don't know. Just welcome your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I have one on Ranger, and it's actually a stat I put out before. I just pulled it up here. Ranger Suarez has the 2nd lowest postseason ERA since 2000, when there's been more than 30 innings pitched by a starting pitcher. So only Ian Anderson has a lower ERA since 2000 for starting pitchers in the postseason.
That's incredible.
And the one thing with Ranger that I've noticed in the postseason, specifically in 22 and 24, is right before he entered the postseason, he was struggling. And even in the postseason, he was walking a lot of guys, but he always got the outs. And I know that he wasn't amazing yesterday, but he has been better the second half this year than he has been in the past. And I still think that he can get those meaningful outs. And when it comes to the postseason rotation, Sanchez and Luzardo throw fast, and Ranger doesn't. So I think he's a really good bridge in between the two of them, just so teams, some teams might get used to having those lefties going up and you have the same players facing them, but at least Ranger can be that guy in the middle who changes it up a bit.
That's
he
a great
fits.
point.
To me, he's going to be number 2. I mean, to me, I would not hesitate to do it. He's done it before, and he has a knack for the big moment. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah.
I was just saying, he has to win in that first series because we have to take the first 2 games. And, you can lose the next 2 because you got Sanchez coming back for the last one, right, at home. But you have to win those first 2 games. And so you need Ranger to be his best. But guess what? As you say, he's totally capable of doing it. He's got the experience, and we need Christopher to have a really excellent, and we need our offense to score a ton of runs at home. And if we do that, then we're in that series. It doesn't matter who we're playing.
Out of all these 5 guys, I trust Ranger the most out of these 5 guys. How about that?
Okay, great.
Personally,
I like the Bueller option. I mean, candidly, I don't understand what it is about Taiwan's pregame routine that caused him to give up runs in the first inning every single time. But what's interesting is that piggyback combination really worked, and I would not be afraid to try that again in the postseason.
I think they were testing it. I think that was a test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I look at I mean, God, I have loved Nola for a long, long time, but it's not just the third time around.
So
right.
I think the way this probably, I mean, again, this is what they will do versus what they should do. Component of this, they're probably going to start Christopher. Ranger is going to go 2, and then 3 is probably going to be Luzardo, and 4th Nola in the sense. And if Luzardo pitches great, you don't need Bueller there. If Nola doesn't pitch as well, or Luzardo doesn't pitch, that's where you put Bueller as kind of the guy coming out of the bullpen, maybe in a 3rd or 4th inning if you actually need him.
And I will say with Nola that Roger is correct. It's not just the 3rd time around, but the last 3 starts Nola's had, it has been only the 3rd time around. So I think that is something that right now we've seen it in the last 3. So maybe, leave it to 5 innings or leave it to 4. Anytime you start seeing those base runners. I mean, that one game that Nola gave up, I think it was 6 runs against the Royals.
Yeah,
he gave up 4 of them in that 6th inning, but there wasn't anyone warming up for a while before he even got pulled from that. So right. I think looking at the postseason, they would be more aggressive with the bullpen. I'm just trying to think of a way to make it work. And I think if they're really cautious with Nola, that there's a good chance that there's success there, but it's not the same Nola that we've had.
The question is, are they going to put Nola in the bullpen? Should Nola start for the first series? Will we see him this week in the bullpen to see if he can come in? I know it's a completely different thing that they've ever done. I mean,
that's not how these guys operate.
Yeah, I don't think they will do it, but I think they should do it. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I see the logic, but that's really hard to picture. I mean, just like trying that.
So what are you going to do in the first series? You're going to start the 3 lefties.
Oscar, it's really simple. If we win the first 2 games, it doesn't matter. If we do not win the first 2 games, then that's likely the decisive game of the series. And you have to win that game. And if you have to win that game and you're starting Nola, if he gets through the first inning, you give him the 2nd inning. But
I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Yeah, the first round, we wouldn't need the 4th starter.
So here's the question. There is Saturday the 4th.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Well, in
which case? NLCS.
Yeah, it's because of the off days.
Saturday the 4th is a game 1. Then we skip it.
Oh, right. You skip a day. Sorry.
And then you go Monday. Is the second game is on Monday.
And then Wednesday, Thursday. So you're right.
Okay, so Tuesday is a day off as well? Is Tuesday a day off? That's a question.
It's day off to change cities, and then
either way, I know that they wouldn't need that 4th starter, but the thing is that there's no ghost runner in these games either. So you still need to have guys in the pen that can pitch if they get into a bad situation.
That is a great point.
And I know that you'll have Walker, you'll have Bueller, you'll have Nola. I mean, I don't know. That's why I still think that Nola should get an outing in the bullpen, but I just know how this team operates. I don't see where that's going to happen.
Right.
So the 4th, you play Saturday the 4th is the National League 1 and 2 versus National League 4 or 5 goes against 1. We'll go against 3 or 6. We don't play on Sundays. The American League that plays on Sunday. Then we would be National League 2. We play on Monday, and then we get an off day, and then we play Wednesday. We play Thursday, then we get an off day, and a potential game 5 would be the following Saturday.
So in what is Taiwan's postseason stat look like?
Long relief.
Okay.
Wrong reliever. I mean, I that's what I would
No,
do.
no. I'm saying, does he have history in the
Historically?
postseason?
Oh, his staff are awful. I didn't even put
I
it here.
think
It's
he's
like,
pitched in one game in the postseason. It wasn't with the Phillies.
no. One game is a 30 ERA. I mean, let's not even go there. That's why I didn't put it. I mean, to me, he's going to pitch.
Yeah.
He's going to be our long reliever coming out of the bullpen, maybe extra innings or something like that. Kind of the emergency guy that you would put in there if you need an arm that can pitch 2 or 3 innings.
In 2017, he pitched 1 inning and he gave up a grand slam.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
The initial exercise had him in, and when I look at the numbers and I put the numbers in the right, I said, "Look, let's face reality."
Hey, look, Taiwan Walker. I mean, he's faced so much adversity and done, just persevered and done a lot better this season. If a postseason series hinges on Taiwan Walker, then some things have gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Well,
so
but
when
in
we're
fair-
agreeing. Go ahead.
I'm going to say something in defense of Taiwan. I agree with everything John said, and I think if the thing depends on Taiwan, we've screwed up a lot of things to get to that point. And to me, Taiwan has really, really, really impressed me about his psychological makeup this year, getting moved around and doing all that stuff. And, he gets blasted in the first and then he settles down for another 5 innings. That part I marvel at. And if we could figure out a way to bottle that 2nd through 5th inning, and, I just, who knows what's going to happen, but I'll bet he's on the postseason roster.
Yeah, he works, and you have to love his attitude. And
Yeah, and he cheers for the team on the front rail. He's right there.
Honestly, it's impressive how he's come back.
Yeah,
I mean, he looked completely done last year. Not even a chance of coming back. And, he's faltered a little bit recently, but it's just a heck of a story that he's even still around.
It's great, but we're talking the postseason. I mean, and the reality is that in this list, he's the 6th pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. He's not.
He's
not.
He's the 6th pitcher.
We have 3 pitchers, and they're all left-handed.
The objective of the conversation is win the World Series, and I do agree that Taiwan might have a role in a potential extra inning or something like that. He needs to keep himself sharp, and I agree with you. I'm very proud of what he's done this year, but we got to win the World Series. Yeah. And I think what we're agreeing, do we all agree that it should be Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, and Jesus Luzardo as the top 3, and then having Walker Buehler as piggybacking, and if you need a 4th starter, then Nola would be the 4th starter, and then you could piggyback with Buehler. Are we agreeing with that?
And I think it's the correct.
Nobody thinks that Buehler should be the 3rd starter.
No.
Because of the experience. Okay.
No.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, it's a thought.
It's not crazy, but dance with guys that brought me, right?
You think it's crazy? Look at this. Look at the numbers of this guy. I mean, 13 scoreless innings in the 2024 postseason, including closing the final game.
The other thing, too, with Buehler is the 2024 regular season, he was awful. And he still was successful in the postseason. So
he's a great pickup, because imagine this conversation without him in the mix. It's kind of crazy. And they picked him up for nothing. So it's fantastic.
I think the piggyback test with even though I do believe that they're going to switch it now, I think it's Thursday when they pitch.
Yeah, Buehler's pitching Thursday, but they didn't commit to Taiwan piggybacking after him. So they might actually start Taiwan the next day against the Twins.
And maybe
I don't agree with that. I say pitch our guys.
Pitches behind him. Maybe Nola pitches behind him. Who knows? I mean, look, you got to get ready. I mean, you got to get ready for the postseason. I mean, everything. I mean, look, Wheeler pitched in the last postseason. Wheeler pitched in the last, I don't know, the last inning or something like that. I mean, what was it? Was it last year or the previous year?
Oh, the DBacks series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out of the bullpen.
Wheeler pitching. I mean,
yeah,
he was going to pitch the last game if we won in New York. Lindor and my friend Carlos Tevez, 41 save, by the way, this year by Carlos Tevez.
You know what? And I'm tired of Mets fans that continuously send me that video. That video means nothing to me. It's all about this year.
Shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't matter anything to them.
I was in Citi Field when that happened, and I turned to my wife when Estevez came in to pitch to him. He's going to give up a grand slam. I mean, you could just smell it coming out. Way, and the damn thing triggers PTSD every time I see it.
Look, I was there, and it was like somebody hit a punch in your stomach, like in the gut, and you could not breathe afterwards.
Yeah,
that's how we felt.
You knew he was going to do it. That's the problem. You knew he was going to do it.
That's how we felt. I mean, a punch of the gut.
Next year, right? We all agree they were what, around 500 for the whole second half last year. This year, they feel like they're hitting well. They're rolling into the postseason. They're going to have some. And
our record against teams with winning records this year is spectacular.
It's really good. It's really good.
I mean, it's like you just sit there and you look at that and you go, look, you got to feel better about the postseason this year than either of the last 2 years based on that number alone.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%. Let's see. What does it say here? The way the Mets have played since mid-June doesn't inspire confidence. Yeah, I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, and it's just like what we went through last year. But I think the difference last year, in my mind, was we had a lot of success in the postseason, so I didn't think it would matter. But now going through that, I think it really does matter.
It does. Yeah. I mean, you can. And I don't have the math on it, but I think we all know the teams that are hot late are the teams that win. And last year, the Phillies, last couple of years, I think the Phillies have been dominant in the first half. And you need to be. I think being a good October team probably correlates more than anything with being a good September team.
So let's go hitting. Let's go hitting here. This has remained pretty consistent. We've truly turned it in the second half of the year, taking it to another level. We were like 12th in runs per game, and now we're 7th. Our OPS is 3rd in Major League Baseball. Look at our OPS with runners in the scoring position. We're 4th. We're 8th against lefties. We're 4th against right-handed pitching. Look, outside of chase rate and whiff rate, this team, which is an issue that we have historically have, I was looking to see with Castellanos out of the lineup. I mean, has it improved a little bit? No, it has remained pretty consistent at 30%. And we're 20th in baseball.
Yeah, other than chase and whiff rate, like other than the assassination, how was the play, Miss Lincoln? Right, like this is the problem every year, and it's scary, and I don't know. They are.
We are who we are, and Bader. This is the one area Bader doesn't help, right? Because he swings when he's got a mind to swing, he swings no matter where the pitch is.
His strikeout rate is 26%, just FYI, and he's has 7% based on balls rate. So it's not ideal. So it's not ideal. I mean, that's
but his batting average on balls in play is still crazy high.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he hits it, he hits it. And
it's the same situation with Marsh too.
Yeah, Marsh.
No, the two of them look remarkably similar.
Right? Yeah.
So here is the hitting prior. And this is a very interesting chart. Let me go back again on full chart so we can all see it better, because there's a lot of numbers here, and I know, but I do believe they tell a story. So basically what you see here is what we know, right? Schwarber, Harper, Turner, they were all significantly above the OPS rate. All this is ranked based on OPS. Castellanos was 4th, okay, at 752. So despite the fact that he struck out a lot of chasing, the big number 1 in the team in chasing, I mean, he had a 751 OPS, 51 RBIs, 12 home runs. Then you see Mundito Sosa there, Alec Bohm and JT Realmuto. You would call them. You could have put Sosa up. It's about between 720, 730, the OPS average. So they were basically average with the OPS. And then you see Brandon March at 697, despite a 260 batting average. Kepler 210, 678. You see Bryson Stott at 636. But voila, the magic wand came in. Look at the postseason. I mean, look at where Bader is. Second best hitter in the Phillies in OPS. Brandon March, the third best hitter in OPS. Bryson Stott, the sixth best hitter in OPS. I mean, it's amazing what these kids have done and just turning it around.
You got to love it. What do you think about in October? You think about the energy guys. The guys with clutch hits, just putting the bat on the ball, putting the ball in play. And if these guys keep doing that.
And March hitting lefties. John, March hitting lefties. I mean, hit a home run and a 4-base hit the other day. He was amazing.
Yes. If you take away his April numbers, Brandon Marsh has been a star this year, an absolute star.
Second half, 305, 8 home runs, 21 RBIs.
Yes.
I mean, after Harper and Schwarber, he has the third most home runs on the Phillies.
Yeah, you can't say enough good things about Brandon Marsh.
And then Nick Castellanos. I mean, don't throw your manager under the bus. You're hitting your 610 after the All-Star game. I mean, you have 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. I mean, he reminds me of Alec Bohm last year. Remember the second half that Alec Bohm had a very poor second half? But I didn't hear Alec Bohm throwing his manager under the bus. Issues of communication. Look, you hit, you play. As simple as that.
We going to talk about Castellanos?
We can talk about Castellanos. I mean, I did not like one bit that he threw the manager under the bus.
Okay. I didn't like that either. I mean, there's certain things when I felt like the Raiders were pressing. We know these guys. They're friends of ours. I felt like they were pressing. Also, I felt like Castellanos absolutely came out of the blue with, "I don't talk to Rob." Like that. That was not part of the pushing that they did. I don't know what you all think, but I thought that was the one thing that the Castellanos probably should have stayed away from. Keep that in-house. If you're not talking to Rob, if you have
it's
Rob.
The same thing that happened with Kepler earlier, where he said that he was expecting to play every single day, but he didn't throw the manager under the bus.
And I think just letting this pass a couple days, I think I get now why some of the reporters were pressing him, because they weren't expecting him to throw the manager under the bus. But at the same time, I mean, this is just who Castellanos is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't feel good about like anything that happened in that interview.
What I saw was a guy in Castellanos.
I'm +1 on that, Tyler.
Struggling because he always answers. He processes this question, and he answers it honestly.
Sure.
And he was put in a situation where he shouldn't be answering honestly. Like they were pressing on some things that he shouldn't say, and I saw him struggling with that. Like, what do I say? I don't want to cause a distraction. I don't want to be a problem. But if you ask me this question, I also don't want to give you like a BS answer. So I empathize.
I mean, to me, when he said, look, the reality is we're here to win the World Series. That's the only objective that we have right now.
Yeah,
Don't get into communication issues. Look, you keep those things in-house. If you have a communication issue, and Rob said it the following day, said, look, it's a two-way street. The door is open. It's a two-way street. And look, do we understand from Nick's standpoint why he's dissatisfied? I understand it. But look at the numbers. I mean, you hit, you play. Simple as that. The manager needed to make a decision. March he's playing like an all-star. Bader's playing like an all-star. You're not taking those guys out of the lineup. I mean, you got, and what was his next option? Well, let's fly in a platoon. And if it works, it works.
Yeah, and I think it takes a lot of, guts from Rob to actually bench the guy too, because they've historically not really done that. And Bader just took off with it. Kepler got a lot better. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. And he even said on that podcast with Mookie Betts that he's had an injury to his leg. And he's not saying like that's affected him, but like I think that has affected him, even with the struggles. Like I think that definitely hurts his case there.
I think it's a situation where it's not great, but nobody's doing anything wrong, right? Like Rob Thompson is who Rob Thompson is. He's a polite guy.
He's an honest guy. He'll always tell you.
And Castellanos is who he is, and maybe those personalities don't mesh.
Well, actually, my sense is that it's not that their personalities don't mix. It's just that this is a hard situation.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, John, I thought your framing of this was exactly right. That the questioning was as inappropriate as the answer. And I'm very sympathetic to Castellanos here because he does have a well-deserved reputation for being candid, for not being flippant, for really taking a moment, thinking about it, and giving it as a straight answer. And there was only one way that his approach was going to go if he gets asked that question over and over again.
Right.
And he,
enough times, he's going to give you the truth, right?
And he really went off the reservation with the point about Rob. But as these things go, that wasn't that big a problem, right? No. And to my mind, everybody's going to be fine here. And I think Castellanos has, in fact, adjusted to this new role. He's played way better as a platoon guy than playing as an everyday guy. He even had one great, which was for him a great catch in right field. I think that was the last game of the Dodgers series, the one over his head up against the wall. And obviously the other guys would have caught that ball without breaking a sweat, but at least he came up with it.
Yeah, and I think we haven't given Rob Thompson enough credit for mixing and matching these guys. I mean, the outfield was a mess, an absolute mess.
Well, I mean, he obviously deserves a lot of credit for the revival of Marsh. Mm-hmm. And he obviously deserves a lot of credit for the revival of Kepler. Yeah. Right? So I'm looking at
and Bryson Stott. Don't forget Bryson Stott.
Exactly.
I mean,
Bryson Stott.
Stott's much better. Yeah. And I'm looking at Bohm coming back and basically just setting the place afire since he came back, which is a beautiful thing.
Look, I one of the questions that I love is what Destiny asked. Destiny asked the question, have the communication changed after he brought up the issue of communication? Have the communication changed from previous year to today? And he said, I cannot answer that question, or he doesn't know what the answer is. I mean, the reality is it's a very unfortunate situation because of performance. I mean, look, it's similar in the workplace. If somebody is not performing, you're going to have to make changes because you have your objective as a manager and as the person responsible. You need to get the most production. The reality is he's part of the team, and he needs to make the most out of it. And as you said, Roger, he has at least temporarily embraced the situation, and he's trying to make the best out of it. What we all need to focus on in one thing is the World Series. It's not throwing anybody under the bus, and we're one big family. We know we can learn to disagree in certain things, but we're going to make the best out of it. So
yeah, he eventually got to that, and I love that answer. I wish he had just started off with it, right? Whatever. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the team. I'm worried about a World Series championship. He got there. He eventually got there, but he's too honest to just immediately go to
there was some laughing that I did not appreciate, to be honest with you, in that conversation and that dialogue. It was not right to have. I mean, there was some laugh. I don't know if it was nervousness or anything, not on behalf of him, of some of the people asking the question. So I did not like that at all.
I think there were some people that took exception to what he was saying on that Mookie Betts podcast about the media, and I think that made it even worse too.
Yeah. I mean, that part was awful. They were absolutely a little agitated about the line he dropped on the Best podcast about the media creating a narrative. So they're pressing him on that. And you got to remember, there's some friction here that goes all the way back to Jim Salisbury and the question, right? Like, did you hear the boos? There's history here, and there's a lot of factors at play. But end of the day, I think Nick Castellanos is ready for the postseason and ready to focus on work.
Let's assemble what does the ideal line. We're gonna have to make some changes, right? Because Mundito is coming up and Turner is going up. What's gonna happen to this lineup? I mean, or to this roster first, and then we can talk about the lineup.
I think as much as I love him, I think Kemp's probably the odd man out, right? It's between Kemp and Wilson, and I think they feel, Wilson's not really an outfielder, but they sure seem to like him out there, or put him out there. So I think Kemp's out.
And who else is in there right now that can be potentially moved? Tyler, do you know? That's on the roster right now?
Well, I mean, they have like Donovan Walton, like he won't be around for that.
Yeah, so Walton's still in.
Yeah, I mean he's still here right now, but
Yeah,
he
so
should be the one.
Walton is out, and then someone, either Kemp or Weston Wilson, will probably be sent down. I mean, that's kind of the reality. I love what Kemp did when Alec Bohm.
Well, you got Stubbs too, but he's just that extra roster spot.
Yeah, you need Stubbs in that lineup. I mean, that clubhouse to turn the music on. Trust me.
He can still travel with the team. He doesn't need to be on the roster.
I mean it broader than just the music itself. Yeah. I mean, to keep the theme and the focus and the energy.
I mean, Oscar, you heard the interview with Marsh when he talked about how Stubbs kind of got him right.
He was key.
Yeah. So he's more important than people think.
Yeah, he's definitely much more important than people think. Look, I had a thought, just went away, but I'll remember in a minute. So assuming, let's just make the assumption that Cam goes away. So what's going to happen? So the lineup, what are you going to do? Just keep the platoon in right field, and everything else is what we normally do, which is, I mean, JT. By the way, just one question that I had for you guys: why in the world JT is doing with an 8-0 game still catching?
Yeah, I don't understand, especially when you have two other catchers here. I really think at this point in the season, if you're up by that much or you're down by that much, you really shouldn't be playing the starters.
I mean, you're risking it. it. I mean, that guy gets hurt, it's going to be a massive – I mean, it's going to be a massive issue. I mean –
That's a no-brainer. Great point. There's 3 catchers on the roster.
Come on 3. If it would be 2, I understand the issue that the other one get hurt. But the reality is, I mean, said that guy. I mean, the 7th inning, it was 6-0. I mean – look, it's a game. It's not a must-win game. I mean, JT is one of the most important pieces in this team. So I don't know. That was one point that I kind of bring up for you guys. But so the reality is what I mean. So we have Realmuto, Harper, Stott. You're gonna have Turner, third base, Baum. Left field is gonna be March, center field, Bader, and then you'll continue platooning. Castellanos with Max Kepler. Is that kind of the? I mean, that to me would be it, right?
Yes.
Roger, you go with that?
Yeah, I would actually keep Castellanos on the bench and play Kepler all the time, because I think when you get into the playoffs, defense is so much more important that I want my best fielding outfield out there 27 innings for those first 3 games.
Interesting thought.
And talking about that point of view, that's where I come down on it. I'll take my chances with Kepler against a lefty because I don't want to take my chances with Castellanos in right field.
Talking about that, one option was to bring Johan Rojas to potentially play defensively. Now, I heard that Johan got hurt last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any updates on that we know, or no idea?
All I saw was that they think it's mild, but no one said how long he would actually be out for.
Losing his speed, I mean, and his defense. I mean, his defense would be tremendous to have. That's one thing that I thought when we're looking at outfielders and looking at all this dynamics.
It's a great point. I don't know who they would bump off the roster if he's fully healthy and ready to go, but to have him available, to pinch run in the 10th inning or something, you know what I mean? Or for defensive replacement.
I mean, maybe it's for Stott, and Stott remains with the team, I mean, throughout, and I mean, for Stubbs, what I meant.
Yeah.
And then you have that tremendous defender out there that you could put in center field. And
you also don't need to have 13 pitchers in the DS. So you could carry one less pitcher.
That's the other
thing. And you
thing.
could have a guy like Stubbs. I mean, it doesn't help that he doesn't really play the outfield. I mean, he has played the outfield, but, it would be a lot better if, say, you had Kepler and then you pinch hit with Castellanos and then you had Rojas to just take over defensively.
And he's
But Rojas has a leg injury, right?
Yeah. So I mean,
that's
it's not
what we're talking
realistic right now with that, depending on the severity of it. And that's another
Was it
reason
a
why
ham-
I
was it
also
a
wanted
ham knee?
Crawford, who is also injured. So
It's a hammy. I think it's a ham. It's a
it was
hamstring.
quad.
It's a quad.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not the right timing. Let's put it that way. If he wanted to make it back to the World Series or to the postseason, so and he could definitely. So what you said, Roger, something interesting that you don't care too much if Bader hits leadoff or. I mean, there's one thing that I'll bring. Last year, when Turner came back, he was very tentative to run.
yeah. No, sorry. What I was trying to say is that I think we now have three people who perform like leadoff hitters, right? Turner, Bader, and Marsh. And that is a beautiful thing, which means that if you spread them through the lineup, you've got a lot of
You said
listed
March or
people.
Stott? Are you talking about Stott or are you talking about March?
No, Marsh. If you take a look, just go back over the last month and look at how many rallies started because Marsh got on base.
Okay.
I mean, in LA, it was staggering. He scored 3 runs in one of those games.
Yeah, no, he had a lot of base hits. I remember seeing that.
But one of the times he walked. And all I'm saying is, what's really interesting is Marsh's RBI stats are low because so many of his hits are the first hit of the inning.
Okay.
And I look at this as I totally get the argument of leading Bader in the leadoff spot, right? I actually can see the argument for putting Turner, there are a lot of different places, but I could see him as the cleanup hitter, right?
Yeah.
And because again, you're not looking at slug here. You're looking at somebody where you don't dare pitch around Harper, right? And then, I think the key thing is to push JT way further down the batting order.
So you would put who would you put fourth?
I'm saying if I have Bader leading off, then I have Turner hitting fourth, and I have Marsh hitting fifth, right?
And then you can put Realmuto afterwards. I mean,
Yeah,
Realmuto's experience. We just have
you
a
got
couple of
Bohm
slides.
you have Bohm
John.
after Marsh, and then you have Realmuto hitting seventh, right? And then, right, and then
I like. Somehow Realmuto, he has a knack for big moments. I mean, I'll never forget the home run in Houston.
But hang on, this is the team where the bottom half of the order carried us since the All-Star break.
Yeah,
I mean,
fair.
there is nothing. I mean, in my mind, again, I'm trying to make the bottom of the order as powerful as possible.
Yeah.
I'm not like rank ordering these guys from
the
best
Turner.
to worst.
The Turner thing worries me. I mean, the Turner and the leg thing worries me. And
but imagine him as the 4 hitter or the 6 hitter in this scenario.
that's a different
where
story.
he's basically you're totally going on his bat.
Yeah,
and you're getting
more than
a
his
lot of
speed.
PI opportunities.
And that's why I hope that he's able to come back for the Twins series so he can at least get some competitive at-bats. I mean, these guys that we have throwing to him are all career minor leaguers, too, and it's not a game setting. So
I hear you.
Get some actual at-bats.
Remember, when Harper was in that situation, we threw a young guy named Jeff Hoffman at him.
At least Jeff had some major league experience. These 3 guys are
his major league experience rounded to
Hey,
nothing.
Tyler, we don't know if Andrew Painter is one of those minor league pitchers, by the way.
No, there is a list of the names, and he's not one of them.
Painter.
Oh, come on.
Is McGarry on it, though? Because McGarry would be really worth seeing.
No, I know it's like Daniel Harper, Andrew Walding, and Tommy McCollum. They're all just guys.
Yeah. So that's
let's not disrespect, young guys who made it this far.
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, it's a heck of an opportunity for them as well. But
opportunity for them.
right.
Yeah. Last 2 slides, guys.
Harper's had some moments this year.
So we can carry this. So who represents, and by the way, I did not update the chart on the right. I did update the main chart here. It was interesting. The Astros were there. Now it's Cleveland. Detroit was the number 2 seed. Now it's Seattle. So you can see all the motion all the drama that has been happening. The bottom of the American League has not changed, but the top has. In our case, it's been, Cincinnati replaced basically the Mets, and everything else remains the same. But
can you imagine what happens if Cleveland pays Detroit in the first round of that thing?
oh my.
I mean, it doesn't matter which one of them's above the other. You got to like Cleveland getting to the next round. And man, are they a weird team.
They're a weird team. They don't have enough hitting. I mean, but they do enough. I mean, their pitching have been much better. It's a very interesting team. I mean, it's a very interesting team. Depleted. They don't have Clase anymore. They have a Smith, which I do really like. I mean, that pitcher, but they don't have I mean, it's amazing they're here. I mean, they just
but against Seattle, nobody's going to score off Seattle anyway.
They're like Milwaukee. They'll find a way. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
And that was Seattle's got the best, most solid, and until very recently healthiest starting rotation. And so Cleveland's the perfect guy to face them. They weren't planning to win by scoring anyway. They can only keeping the other guys from scoring.
Yeah. So look, it'll be the American League is anyone could this year, probably more than any other year, anyone could win. I mean, all this money that all these teams have spent, I mean, to me is like, you know what? Now is the time. Who scares you more in the National League, and who scares you the most in the American League?
Dodgers still.
Dodgers by a mile.
Still the Dodgers, because the talent's still there, and go ahead.
Yeah, when Max Muncy is your sixth best hitter, you got a really, really, really good team.
Well, Will Smith's still hurt. He fractured his
hand.
Okay,
so Max is the fifth best hitter. My point is...
No. I didn't mean it that way. I mean it that way. I just wanted to give it as information that Will Smith has a fracture.
Well, and Max isn't 100%. He got hurt in the second game against us, and I don't think he's played since.
Yeah, and, if these are the two teams that are facing off before the Phillies, I'm going to be the biggest Reds fan in the world. And the thing is the Reds have some really good pitching. But,
really good pitching.
They can't really hit. And I feel like it would be an interesting matchup, but it doesn't matter. Like the Dodgers, they just find a way to win. Yeah. They do, even with their bullpen problems.
Well, the Dodgers have the same thing that the Mets have with Soto, which is that they have players that umpires treat differently, right? I mean, Shohei and Soto both get calls that nobody else gets. And it's striking to watch. Freddie Freeman also gets those calls, right?
Yeah.
Who scares you?
I mean, just a 3-game series. I don't care what the talent gap is. There's no guarantees. Reds could easily just luck into a victory over the Dodgers in that series. And man, you got chances of best of 5 for Cincinnati.
Who scares you the most in the American League? Who do you think is going to come out of the American League?
Seattle.
Oh, really? I like Toronto.
I think on paper it would be Seattle, but we did so well against them that I'm not as concerned with Seattle.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know. Like, I look at these other teams and I don't know if any of them really scares me. But I mean, if whatever team makes it to the World Series, they had to have played very well to get there.
Yeah,
maybe it's just whoever ends up going to the World Series. That's just the team that concerns me.
I think Toronto. I like Toronto. By the way, Santander is coming back. I mean, he had a major shoulder issue. Santander is coming back. He's a big time hitter that they will add to that lineup.
The key thing about Toronto is they field magnificently, right? I mean, their third string outfielder is as good as our best guy. And
Gausman, Bieber.
Well, their starting staff, they've got real pitchers. Their biggest issue is the back end of the bullpen because they got our back end of the bullpen from last year. And so, if Hoffman has a bad day, they can lose.
That's funny. That's
bring in Sir Anthony.
Sir Anthony, come on down. We love Sir Anthony. So here is what is lined up right now for this week. I mean, this is the last slide, guys. So basically what we have is Christopher against Cabrera. Cabrera is back. I didn't know Cabrera.
Yeah, he just got activated off the injured list.
Okay.
Either yesterday or today.
Wow, he's a really, really good pitcher. I mean, that kid has tremendous talent. I mean, I don't know how he's going to come back from 2 or 3 weeks being out.
I don't understand why they would bring him back.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I believe he had an elbow injury too, and they were bringing him back fast. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. So Luzardo against Weathers, I mean, and Walker against it's not going to be Walker. It's going to be Bueller. It's going to be Bueller. Yeah. And then you got Nola.
It's still Walker. It's just a first name, not a last name.
Yeah.
And then you got Nola, Suarez, and Sanchez. So that's kind of the way. Well, if they decide to pitch him, if we got the bye, I'm sure he's going to pitch maybe 4 innings and get out. I mean, that's what you'll probably see from Ranger and Sanchez. That would be my guess.
That last game against the Twins with Woods Richardson there, I believe Abel has been the guy coming in after him, and he just got called back up a couple days ago.
Oh, nice. How's he done?
Sleeper agent. I'll tell you what, though, when we look at the schedule, what matters the most to me is how Nola performs on September 26th. Yeah. Just if he can just somehow just in time get back to vintage Nola, the guy.
4 or 5 innings.
The contract.
That's it.
Even 4 or 5 great innings.
Yeah, we're unlikely to win that game no matter what he does, but it would still be really pleasant to have him have a good game.
Well, you don't know
it is okay. The Twins sold their entire bullpen at the deadline, so maybe she gets a bullpen.
No, I'm just saying Joe Ryan.
Yeah, Joe Ryan's great.
I mean, it's his last start of the year. He could easily go 8 innings, and
Yeah, give me a 1-0, 2-1 loss in that one, but show me.
Yeah, I mean, allow 2 runs over 5 innings, and we're good to go. I mean, it's like do something and a strikeout. One thing that I always look on pitchers is how many strikeouts they have per innings pitch. I mean, and how many bases on balls. Is his control there? It's not. I mean, he's been okay. He's not been spectacular.
I mean, for Nolan, it's the home run ball, right? Or you could argue it's does he walk guys and have people on base?
Yeah, his control.
Home run ball. But I don't know. I mean, Nola has the potential to be. I mean, it was just a couple of years ago. We were like, just find a way in, Phillies, and then you have Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, and they're going to give you a puncher's chance against anybody. And they got them all in the World Series.
It's his fastball, John. If you look at it, I mean, in context, I mean, it's been his fastball. I mean, that's kind of the reality of things. So, guys, I mean, any other thoughts? I mean, any other thoughts as we go in here, as we look at the playoff? I mean, from you, Roger?
Yeah, so Oscar, let me just say thank you. I love this program. I love it every week when I'm not on. It's really fun to be part of it. The one thing I hope that this team does after this season is over is it reassesses the offseason program for a few of its pitchers. We've clearly got a whole bunch of things right, but there were a bunch of people who did, there were guys in the minors who came up. Remember the kid Chasse,
that Moises Chasse, that guy
for the season. Taiwan came in having done one kind of training, but not the right thing. I don't know what Nola did in the offseason, but it was not the right thing. And, I look at this as there are some real opportunities this offseason to make a big step forward. Because, I mean, next year we're going to have Griff McGarry challenging for a position. We're going to have Painter potentially challenging for a position, right? I mean, if you're Taiwan, if you're Nola, your slots are not even remotely solid.
Look, I saw that contract. I don't know if it was Tim Kelly that
you're down to the last year. Nola's contract's a huge problem, right? But they're not going to roll him out there if he can't pitch.
I saw that Tim Kelly maybe wrote today this, and I don't know. I saw it through somebody else that we might send 2 qualifying offers. One, of course, to Schwarber, and the other one maybe to Ranger. I don't know. Did you guys see that? Or
yeah, I mean that would make sense.
Yeah.
You absolutely got to give him the QO. Why not, right? I mean,
for sure. And not only that, I mean, they got to make a real stab at bringing him back.
Yeah.
It'll
be very interesting. I mean, I know he wants to remain here, but the reality, our dollar's going to be there compared to what, I don't know, maybe the Orioles are going to offer somebody there that needs.
Are you talking about Suarez?
Suarez,
yeah.
Suarez. Yeah. If you had to guess, Schwarber's going to be back.
Yeah.
And
I think, if you ask me, I think Schwarber either returns or goes to Cincinnati, goes back home to Cincinnati.
I don't see how we are going to not offer him the same or more than Cincinnati. I think
it's beyond the money part. I think it's beyond the money.
He really wants to go home, which.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
They
you
don't-
saw Bueller.
once a year.
You saw Bueller. You saw Corbin Burns do that. I mean, he wanted to go back to Arizona, and I mean, so to me, those are the two options. Somebody mentioned to me the Cubs the other day. I don't see it going back to the Cubs. I mean,
No, the Cubs dissed him the worst possible way. There's
Exactly.
no way he's going back.
and here, I mean, you have the entire communities behind you, backing you up, and
Yeah.
I mean, you have the perfect stadium. I mean,
I'm with Tyler. I think they match any offer, and I'll be stunned if he takes any other offer. I mean, I'll be
Yeah,
too
I mean,
stunned. And the other
the
thing
Phillies
that
would
matters
have
too-
to give him a disrespectful offer for him
Right.
to not come back, in my opinion.
and that's
Right.
not going to happen. We know that's not going to happen because we're going to try. I mean, everything they've done is to try to bring him back, and he's such an important piece of the whole equation, which is absolutely critical.
And where we go in the postseason is going to affect whether Ranger comes back or not back,
That's
right?
fair.
Because quite clearly, if we get bounced early, they're going to be way more practical.
Hey, if they get bounced early, I don't know what you do because everybody wants to re-sign everybody, right?
Let's put it that way. Whatever happens, we will all be here together and discussing it live.
Hey, no, hey, I think I'm.
Yeah, well, I was worried you weren't going to have me back, Oscar, so I just thought I'd throw in my parting shot.
Oh, come on, Roger. Hey guys, thank you so much. Where can we follow you, John?
At 2008 Phils on X, Blue Sky. Yeah.
I love his standing. I love his standings with all the comic strips there.
Yeah. All the guys, like, if you want to know what the standings are, come to the account and you can know that. So that's the
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for being with us. Tyler, where can we follow you?
Yeah, just at PhilsTailgate, and I appreciate all the support and discussion. It's been great.
He brings it like 24 hours a day. I mean, the guy is like doing anything.
Yeah.
How many people you have on your team right now? Like 16?
It feels like that, but I have so many tweets planned in advance that I could take a couple days off and the tweets will still be rolling out.
This guy is unbelievable. Roger,
No,
what is the next?
these two are my heroes. So
Yes, they are my heroes too.
I'm at Moon Alice. I use Blue Sky more than Twitter because there's not enough Phillies stuff on Blue Sky, and so I try to.
Come on, you need to bring some balance there. By the way, Roger, when are we seeing you again live with either France?
Oh, so you just missed me. I had a couple of great shows this past weekend. Then I play again the first Sunday in October in San Francisco at Hardly Strictly Bluegrass, which is the biggest festival on the West Coast.
One of the best guitar guys, musician there is out there, the one and only Roger McNamee. Hey, by the way, I'm doing the advertising here. Hey guys, thank
Much
you so
appreciated.
No, it is a true honor for you guys to be here. I know how hard you work every single day to kind of bring the best of the Phils, and thank you for everything you do. And look, the party's about to start. We're going into Red October, and you know what happens. So I'll see you in the next couple of weeks, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Thanks so much. Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing y